rainier in the distance. There are few cities finer on a clear afternoon than this one, and we have a picture-perfect day for football at Lumen Field in Seattle. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. On 1st and 10, here's Locke. And he takes a shot on the release, as this will be incomplete. Well, Charles, you talk about this offense, this Week 8 of the 2021 campaign. Now, normally this would be the halfway point of the season, but as we all know, this now a 17-game regular season. And because of that, seems like now maybe more than ever, getting your open week to occur later in the season, that could be a pretty big advantage.
Brandon, it's always been a big advantage, and now, as you pointed out, the possibility of it becoming huge, likely. Most teams want that later open date because of injuries, getting that rest before the playoff push, all of those things. Sometimes when you get an open date early in the season, it's not really much of an advantage. You might be playing well, now slows down your momentum. This is a big deal, and teams definitely like it. The later, the better.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by DeMonte Kazin. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Well, it's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions. Can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
And looking for Kirk, but this pass is intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. A young quarterback, Charles, rolling to his right. And I know he's right-handed, but is that one that maybe a veteran sticks in his pocket?
I think so, but you have to remember with young quarterbacks, it may take a few years before they get all the stuff out of them that they did earlier in their career or even in their college days when they were used to being dominant. In this case, the NFL veteran defense ended up winning the battle.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Throwing again on second down. Locke. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
On first down, Locke. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's taken down inside the 30.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love is touchdown, Seahawks. Noah Fant, his second touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. Kick this one away, and off it goes. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Coming off every player's friend, the open week from last weekend.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Even if you're coming off of a loss as they did, the open week is exactly what you need after you kind of get over it a little bit, right? Rest up the mind, rest up the body, get yourself ready to go. And they have to be eager to play again, especially since they lost the last time out.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. So for Trevor Lawrence, listen, the hype, the buzz, whatever you want to call it, it just surrounds this guy. One of the most highly regarded draft picks of the last decade or two. What do you think defenses are going to throw at him here in his rookie season?
Well, I think all the edge rushers.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 48, and his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on, his teammates going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. Locke's throw caught here by Metcalf. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. You know, he's already thrown for more yardage in this first quarter than he did all of last week.
And I could be snarky here and say, well, he didn't throw for a lot of yards last week. But the bottom line is he put in a great week of practice and really came out ready to go in this one.
54, right there, 54. Hey, tight down, there you go.
Locke now on first down. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. Trucks over him. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A big play that time on the catch and run. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Seahawks are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Now Myers for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they'll bring it out to the 25 as Agnew elects for the touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. To this point, the results have not been good. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers.
And that's obviously something that can't continue, but to go a little bit deeper on that one, I would think about some play calls now, not even necessarily to my best player, but to someone I can trust with the ball. Try and get things settled down a little bit.
At the 27-yard line.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. He did an okay job of absorbing the hit, just couldn't secure the football through the catch.
And he was right there on the spot and forced the incompletion. That's something defenders work on all the time. If you're there, make the contact, but continue to work your way through the receiver so that you can't possess the football and turn it into a catch.
Being chased out left. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
That's a big gainer on that play, and from experience, I can tell you, that's where defensive backs will come into the huddle and say, guys, how about some pass rush? But you're going to say it nicely because those big guys up front, they don't like being criticized very much. Quarterbacks in this league, you know they'll pick you apart if you give them time like that to find receivers downfield.
And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. Lawrence will throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
To throw again on 2nd down. Lawrence flushed out right. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
As a rookie quarterback, that's exactly how you endear yourself to your teammates. Give it up for the cause. It's also how you end up on the training table, too.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. Coach doesn't like it. Teammates love it. Where do you fall on it?
Well, I fall on wanting to endear yourself to your teammates, but pick your spots. Be smart about it. They need you for the full season.
Yeah, the rookie's going to learn as he goes. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. A give to Etienne running right. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 45. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That pick six, extending this lead even further. Boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the third quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And a rout is on here in this first half. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And they'll bring it out to the 25 as Agnew elects for the touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And last time, decent field position through the pick six. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Now Lawrence to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Looking downfield for Jones. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Jaguars. Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find them at the wide receiver position. And that was special there.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard where you look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. The touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they come in losers of 2 straight. And remember, they've got the open date on their calendar next weekend, but you think it's vitally important, Charles, that they focus on the task at hand here.
Absolutely, because these players, they know what's coming up, and the difference between taking time off following a win versus doing so on a 3-game losing streak, that's absolutely huge because they may come back if they lose this game to a facility, and there may be new faces in there and some teammates lost.
Deep ball for Goodwin. He's got a man, complete, and all the way in, touchdown Seattle. For Drew Lock coming out of Missouri, the one thing that scouts they loved was his arm strength, and we see why there.
And I'm telling you, nothing will light up a crowd more than a play like that. Here in the stadium, all eyes were on the receiver streaking downfield, and you know everyone was thinking, throw it, he's open. What a connection there for the touchdown.
Myers connects on the PAT, and a rout is on here in this first half. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all, and if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. They go play action now. Lawrence. Now he lets it go deep for Kirk. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Lawrence. He's going to let it go again. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. This is taken at the 23. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Sitting in 1st place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit, or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point, and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And this one is incomplete.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Locke going to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing big.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off at the 40, and they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. Boy, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB. Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Dancing to his left. And now he'll let this one go deep, back over the middle. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
They'll get this out to the flat for ETN. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half.
Hey, seam six.
On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. He's going to air one out. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep two eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting two hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Looking downfield for Jones. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Lawrence. And that will be incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. And they'll try and throw for it with Lawrence. Completes it to Evan Ingram. And now this is going to be close. The defense says they stopped him, and they did. The Jags come up empty on 4th down. And the Seahawks are going to take over the football. Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And got his man complete. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Throwing now is Locke. Throw left side is complete on the diving effort. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Josh Oliver in the final seconds of the first half. And the Seahawks would extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point up and through by Myers. And the round is on here in this first half. Time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. Now Jamal Agnew from his end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And with Lawrence's arm, they may give him a shot to let this thing rip downfield. We'll see. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. So we are at halftime here on Halloween as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report.
Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in this second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. The Jaguars with work to do. They trail here as we are back underway on EA Sports. And the half will begin with a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of the first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
Second and 5. A shotgun snap and a give to Etienne. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
And that's a pleasing run there by Travis Etienne. And every time I see him carry it, I think of the word mature. Why? 4 full seasons at Clemson, not something you normally get with a running back. Had almost 5,000 yards rushing, the school record, along with 70.
And now here's another interception. Picked off at the 45. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the third quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing. They're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
Forced out to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
But defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
On 2nd and 10, Locke. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good. Soft in spots. There's an easy throw and catch for another first down.
Now left side on the swing pass. And the Seahawks are going to have a first and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a first
touchdown. Noah Fant, his second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. He finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that will extend this big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
Another attempt, another incompletion. And when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points. And the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up. The offense staying out there. They look prepared to go here on 4th and 10. And they'll indeed go for it. Here's Lawrence. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And now the football's going to go over, already being placed at the 15-yard line. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A great play there. His second touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point up and through by Myers. And the lead will swell by one more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they'll bring it out to the 25 as Agnew elects for the touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. Now on 2nd and 16, Lawrence. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the foot. And it's out. He put it on the carpet. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. Looking at it from the defense's perspective, they could have really used the football to try to start eating into this deficit.
Yeah, because now possession's so crucial at this stage of the game. And when you've got an opportunity to hop on a turnover and you don't get it, you can feel the frustration all the way up here.
And the offense, they're living right now. Another bounce and break that goes their way. After the turnover, here's Locke. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And down inside the 15 he goes.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third-quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Andre Cisco there on the stop. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They look to throw. It's Locke. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's 3rd down. Now Locke. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And Myers able to knock it through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well, and kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Etienne once more. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Lawrence. And now here's another interception. Picked off near the 42. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Locke, flush to his right. And he slings one that's incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Locke going to try and throw on 3rd down. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set them back for second down. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
17 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. Well, you have to be aware defensively that you've got 2 goals because obviously you're trying to prevent the touchdown, but you're also trying to keep it from getting a first down as well. That time they weren't up to the task, and it's 1st and goal.
Steps away to his left. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first down, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. The extra point now coming from Myers. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they'll bring it out to the 25 as Agnew elects for the touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They were coming off the extra week of rest, but this team started sluggish, and it really didn't get any better from there, and trailing big here in this 4th quarter. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Jordan Willis in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Lawrence. Escaping the pressure right. And that's complete to Etienne out of the backfield. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. They go play action with Lawrence. Buying time to his left. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Throwing now, Lawrence on 1st down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That is caught inside the 5. And the Jaguars are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get them over the goal line.
So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
They'll actually throw it with Locke. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that is incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Locked to throw on 3rd and 1. Oh, he's going to go for it all. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
After what they faced during this game, where they've given up a ton of yards downfield, there has to be a measure of revenge right there for the secondary. They've been shredded throughout the game and finally forced an incompletion.
Locked to throw for it on 4th. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Seahawks, they climb to 6-2 on the year as they close in on the midpoint of this 17-game schedule. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Buffalo Bills.